Of all the negative emotions, the one that has had the really bad press is anger. And it is interesting that the types that express their anger, that get angry, are often perceived as wrong or bad. In fact, this is why we have anger management classes. But the truth is, anger is not a bad emotion. Anger is a natural emotion, and the purpose of it is to help us prevent something that we feel shouldn't be happening, or to stop something or change something. So if anger is used in the way it's meant to be used and expressed, it's actually a force for good. But it is interesting now when we look at the different types and what they do about anger, how they feel about anger, how they react to their own anger, whether they do express anger, because it is actually very different in the different types. So let's look at the 9 first. Now, of all the types, the 9 is the one that will most avoid anger. They will avoid their own, and they will avoid other people's. They will avoid conflict of all sorts. So they will remove themselves from a room with conflict in, or they'll try and diffuse the conflict. And they will not allow themselves their own anger. And in fact, there's a huge suppression of anger within the 9, which causes all manner of problems. The 8 is a very different type. The 8 actually can enjoy their own anger. They actually like a good fight. They find anger fires them up, makes them feel energetic. In fact, they don't understand why other people don't have a problem with anger. The 7, again, very different. 7s generally will avoid what they perceive as negative emotions, because they want to keep things up and cheerful and happy. So they don't want you to be angry, and they will not want to be angry themselves. So this is a type that avoids being true to themselves in this respect. 6s do fear anger. There are 3 types that you could honestly say fear anger, and these are 3s, 6s and 9s. We've already mentioned 9. 6s fear anger. They fear their own anger, and they fear your anger as well, because from their perception as a 6, anger might undermine their security, might damage that which they feel gives them a stable base in life. So they will avoid anger. Doesn't mean they won't get angry, but they don't want to be angry and they want to avoid it. 5s, you won't very often see a 5 angry. In fact, only a very free 5 is likely to express their anger. Generally, 5s will contain emotion, all emotion, and particularly their strong emotion. They move out of those emotions into their mind. They will rationalise and intellectualise the situation rather than react to it. 4s can be very angry inside, in fact, because 4s often feel hard done by, shortchanged by life. They feel that they haven't been understood, that they haven't been allowed to be themselves. And so that anger very often boils around inside in the 4, and it spills out in the form of resentment, perhaps nasty comments. And generally with most 4s, there can be times in their lives when it, particularly in a lower functioning place, where it really spills out in a venomous outpouring. They hold on to blame and bitterness. They can be very bitter inside. Not a 4 in a higher functioning place, but average 4s, there's a lot of that there. 3s are another type that will avoid anger, and generally they won't get angry because they need you to like them, and because they care inordinately about what you think of them. They will keep things sweet, they will smile, they will charm you, and if something was ruffling their feathers, they're probably not going to let you know. 2s don't fear anger. They will try not to get involved in anger because it might disrupt or damage their loving relationships, which is what they seek. But twos will get angry. There's a lot of fire in two, in fact. Twos will get angry when they feel misunderstood, misjudged, when their motives haven't been understood. Ones are very angry inside. Now, on the whole, ones are going to try and contain their anger. They tend to see emotions as either good or bad. So they judge their own emotions, their own responses, and inevitably they will judge anger as being bad. So they try to contain it, and that containment sets up a great deal of tension in the one, which tends to give them that, you get that sense with the one that there is a holding and a control within them.